If politics raises questions, elections are supposed to give us answers, but many recent elections have led to more questions about close races that were skewed by spoiler candidates or where the winner in a crowded field gets much less than 50% of the vote. One possible remedy is to allow voting by ranked choice. That option will be on the ballot for Massachusetts voters in November. To make the case for it are two supporters, the executive director of MassVOTE, Cheryl Clyburn Crawford, and a consultant with the Voter Choice for Massachusetts campaign, Reverend Vernon K. Walker. Thank you both very much for being with us. I want to start with Cheryl Clyburn Crawford. For people who aren't familiar with this term yet, what exactly does ranked choice voting mean?
Ranked choice voting means just that you get a chance to rank your votes. What it really does, ranked choice voting puts the power where it really belongs, and that's in the hands of the people. And it ensures that the majority rules, a simple way to vote. Ranked choice voting is simple, fair, and easy. On your ballot, you can vote for just one candidate, as you always have, or you have the option to rank your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. It's almost like if you go in an ice cream parlor and you want, your favorite is cookies and cream ice cream, they don't have it, you go to your second choice. You don't just give up on having ice cream, but this ensures that, that more people have a bigger say in who we actually are electing.
Reverend Walker, the simple definition of democracy or voting is that the person who gets the most votes or has the broadest appeal should be the winner. How does ranked choice voting get us closer to that?
Well, it simply ensures that no votes are wasted. With ranked choice voting, you never feel like a vote is wasted. If your favorite candidate can't win, your vote is instantly counted for your second or your third choice. And essentially, as Cheryl was mentioning, it ensures that the majority rules, because ranked choice voting, and simply what it does, it elects people supported by the broadest majority of voters, and winners or more accurately reflects the true will of the people. Essentially, we have candidates and races or races with more than two candidates. We have candidates currently winning by 20% or 30%. Well, what ranked choice would do, it would ensure that the winner would have 50% or plus 50% and over 50% to ensure that the majority of people's voices are heard at the ballot box, and we have a winner who reflects more accurately the will of the people.
Sure.
So I'd like to jump in there as well. You're right, because one of the main reasons that MassVOTE supports ranked choice voting is because it allows for elections to take place in a far more inclusive manner. Under our current system where the candidates, that wins the most vote wins the election, we rarely vote for candidates we truly believe in. Instead, we vote strategically, setting up for who has the best shot at winning. What ranked choice voting does truly, it eliminates the spoiler effect, right? And gives voters the opportunity to pick their favorite candidate, not the one that they think can win. As what happens with our in our communities as we're trying to build power and shift the dynamic of power. When too many people enter the race, we might step to someone and say, we're trying to get somebody in. We want to make sure that we can. This eliminates all that. This eliminates the spoiler effect, and it really helps to decrease the division and increase cooperation in politics. Our vote doesn't do that.
Cheryl, it sounds as if ranked choice would favor candidates who try to exert a broad appeal. Can that happen and at the same time have a process here that encourages a diversity of people to start running in the first place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have it happening right here in our own backyard. One of the things that we know is that it dramatically benefits female candidates, candidates of color, and immigrant candidates. San Francisco, for example, elected their first female African-American mayor in 2018 under a ranked choice system, as well as Cambridge, located right here in our own backyard, has had similar races and similar successes. The city, which is, has used ranked choice voting since 1940, currently has one of the state's most diverse representative bodies. 99% of voters see their first, second, or third choice win. It doesn't sound significant, but when there are 10 or more candidates on the ballot itself, it really does matter.
Reverend Walker, right now, the way we do things is that we fill in one bubble next to one name for one office. If you were asking people to fill in more than one bubble, could that maybe end up being too complicated?
I think it will take an adjustment. And it's not really complicated once people understand the driving force behind it, which increases more diversity of a selection of candidates and gives voters more power. Because we understand that ranked choice voting puts more power in the hands of regular citizens. For an example, if your favorite candidate can't win, your vote is instantly counted for your second choice, so your vote matters. Just similar to what Cheryl was saying, that it would encourage more civility in politics. It would encourage more niceness in politics. It would take out meanness because we got a lot of mean politicians who get elected to office. And it makes you wonder, how in the world did they get elected but by using divisive tactics? And then when you look at their campaign, you see that you're using divisive tactics. So it may seem complicated at first, it may seem daunting, and it may seem scary at first to rank or to vote for more than one candidate, but essentially you're essentially voting for the candidate that you like. And if the candidate doesn't, if there's no majority over the first round, if no one in the first round gets over 50%, then your vote will still matter because it will go to the second round. And then the lowest vote getter in the first round will be eliminated. And then this process will continue to repeat itself until there's a winner with 50% or more of the votes.
What about Massachusetts? We've had some recent elections where people got elected with sometimes not only a little less than 40% of the vote, but maybe a lot less than 40%. Would ranked choice voting have made much of a difference in those cases?
Absolutely, absolutely. Under our current system, which lets candidates win with less than the majority of the vote, and independent candidates who run for office can split the vote and spoil the election. But one of the things that the Reverend just said that I want to lift up is it builds in niceness. You know what I mean? Like, people are nicer, because if your first choice does not get in, you are actually wanting people to vote for you as their second choice or their third choice. But this whole thing about it building confusion is just not so. The confusion argument is a fallacy, which simply does not give voters enough credit. We're saying people can't understand this. Yes, they can. They did an exit poll after the May 2018 general election, which showed that 60% of the respondents were in favor of keeping or expanding the use of ranked choice voting. And after that same election found that over 90% of the Mainers reported their experience was either excellent or good. Among voters in Minneapolis who have been using ranked choice voting, 92% of the respondents to a survey conducted said that they find voting with ranked choice voting simple. So we need to give more credit to people. Stop trying to confuse it, convolute it. It's just as simple as I said earlier. When you go into the ice cream parlor, you think about what your favorite ice cream is, you pick that one, they say, oops, we're out of it. You go to your second choice, right? It's just that simple. We don't have to complicate this.
Reverend Walker, I know we've been serving this up as a change in the status quo, but it's interesting to note that a lot of incumbents in Congress from this state agree this should happen. In fact, 2 of our former governors are on the board with this. So isn't that interesting too?
It is interesting because we have a lot of our federal representation. A lot of them understand that we need more participation from citizens in the democratic process. And one of the ways to drive up participation in the democratic process by voters is allowing them options and choices to vote their candidates and to rank their candidates. And simply put, as we mentioned, ranked choice voting puts more power in the hands of regular citizens. And not only that, ranked choice voting would make our government more representative of the diversity of Massachusetts across all ages, races, and genders. This reform can help bring us back together instead of dividing us. And we certainly understand that we don't have a commander-in-chief currently at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We have a divider-in-chief. Who has built his reputation on dividing and stoking the flames and fanning the flames of hatred and xenophobia and hatred of the other. So essentially, if we ever needed systemic and radical change in the way our political discourse, and a change in our political discourse, ranked choice voting, I believe, would help bring that systemic and radical change to not only to our national political conversation, but to our state political conversation as well as our local political conversations.
We just have a little bit of time here to mention, you both are from organizations with websites that people can check out. Reverend, you want to direct people anywhere?
Yes, we want people to check out Voter Choice, voterchoice.org. They can check it out to learn more about the campaign. And we want people to learn more about the campaign because this is empowering, a dynamic campaign, and the website is voterchoice2020.org. So please feel free to check out that website. Get involved. If you want to learn more, contact us. There is a contact sheet on the website, and we'd be happy to respond to your inquiry because we believe that this is a people's movement. And don't forget, on November 3rd, vote. This will be on the ballot. Question 2. We want voters to take this seriously. And as Cheryl so wonderfully said, Maine already has this. New York City just passed a form of ranked choice voting last year. And historically, Massachusetts has been the vanguard of change. We have been the first state to end slavery, first state to offer a form of universal health care, first state to legislate and legalize gay marriage. Well, even though, as we believe that this will pass, we wouldn't be the first state to pass this, but we believe that we could help usher in the systemic and radical change in the way our national political discourse and our state political discourse is handled and conducted.
And Cheryl, for this question and other concerns, that people can go to MassVOTE as well?
Please, MassVOTE, MassVOTE.org, because one thing we know for sure is the more people understand ranked choice voting, the more they are in favor of ranked choice voting. If they're not voting for ranked choice voting, it's because they just don't understand. And the numbers show that already. But you can go to massvote.org to get all of your 2020 election information. And we will be, as of September 2nd, once we get past the primary, we will be doing everything around ranked choice voting. You know, we'll really be lifting it up, the public education piece around it. We just didn't want to confuse people. We have enough confusion going on for the September 1 election. We didn't want to confuse them by putting it out there heavily right now. But September 2nd, we go to work.
Well, thank you both very much for taking the time to join us, Cheryl Clyburn Crawford and Reverend Vernon K. Walker. We'll have more news in just a moment.